there's such a horrible thunderstorm out there that I really don't want to turn any electrical things on like my computer. And anyway, I'd like to discuss journaling. Journaling is a really amazing way to allow your thoughts to flow from you, and as you move all this energy, you can actually begin to download clear thoughts. The connection between ourselves and spirit is just an attention away. So as we begin to focus our attention on who we really are, and wonder, who are we really? We're opening a gateway for information to come to us, giving us the clear view of our magnificence. Journaling is kind of a magical way of being able to move all kinds of energy and then opening the possibilities to direct inspiration. If you have issues to deal with, and they may be sadness, any grief, anger, whatever, putting them into a journal before you actually approach the conversational aspect with other human beings is really, really helpful, because it gives you an opportunity to unload. Sometimes people hold their energy, their emotional energy, too long, and by the time they actually impart that to another, it's like getting blasted, or sometimes people feel like they just got puked on. I know that sounds terrible, but it is terrible, and it doesn't feel good. And I am sure that all of us who have done it in the past, or who are still doing that, or whatever, had no intentions of doing that. It's just sort of the pressure cooker effect, that if you are not moving your energy on time, and it is a buildup of repressed emotional energy, it will come out intensely. And so journaling is a really great pressure reliever, actually, if you want to look at it that way, whereby whatever you've gone through, whether it's today, yesterday, 6 years ago, or when you were a child, and you may still be a child now, getting the information out so you can become current in your emotional body will really give you the ability to be able to communicate with people fairly, kindly, and honestly. And one of the things that I'd like to mention here is the honest piece. Being honest with oneself, obviously vitally important. Being honest with other people, obviously vitally important. But to use the concept of being honest to cut somebody off at the knees is not really true honesty. True, deep honesty in the biggest picture of things really is woven with discretion. And there are times when it is important for you to speak your truth and hold your tongue at the same time. Meaning that maybe right now isn't the perfect time to tell so-and-so thus and so while they're in a particular place surrounded by particular people. Maybe it is a kinder thing to do to wait until the situation has shifted and there's privacy. Maybe the timing is just not good for the receiver. You may feel like you have just got to get it off your chest, but in a very loving way, maybe you wait until the time is right so that you know that the receiver is receiving and they don't feel as though they've just been jet slapped. The truth oftentimes is a sting for some. I think a lot of that really begins to become more clear as we start becoming more honest with ourselves, and we feel our own sense of, whoa, wow, that's in me, oh my gosh, you know. But guess what? All kinds of emotional stuff, all kinds of mental patterns are in all of us. And it is when we look at that without judgment, and we look at that with a sense of caring, with an interest to grow, that we can embrace all parts of ourselves and begin to lift. Woo, did you see that? See, that's what can't have a computer on. begin to lift those patterns up and out of ourselves. So we can sometimes really feel what it feels like to take a really good look at ourselves. Now, when we remember that, or we experience that, and we're imparting truth unto another as a friend, we'll remember how really gentle and graceful is key. Doesn't mean that they will even receive that. However, keep it right on your side. You know, do right by them, do right by yourself, and the truth will be known. So, here again, this is where a journal comes in really handy, because it is private, it is yours. You can let anything out in your journal, however you feel. And don't judge it, just let it go. This is the movement. This is how you get from one thing to the next. You're not going to be able to get from one thought form to the next unless you actually really do get it out, because it can very often become a vicious cycle in the mind where it's just like, you know, a dog chasing its tail. The same thought goes on, and as it goes on, it builds in intensity, and then maybe there's not acceptance for the thought, so then there's the repression of it, and then it builds and blah, blah, blah. And now, guess what? You have really created some serious pressure. By the time what you need to say comes out, the likelihood of it being in a bad timing situation and far too intense are pretty good. Is that what you want to do? No. What you really want to do is be heard. You want to be able to speak your truth and do it in a safe way, so that really, reciprocally, whoever needs to speak their truth with you will give you the same grace and tell things that they're witnessing to assist you in your growth. Because once you've agreed within yourself to grow, guess what? You're going to grow. And guess what? You're going to start seeing things differently. And people are going to come into your circle that are growing and love the idea of growing and will impart information that will assist you in your growth as you do them. Journaling is a very great way to become extremely personal. You don't have to be politically correct. You don't have to be anything. You just have to be real. You just have to let it all go. And you can look back in your journal and go, wow, did I feel like that? Yeah, you did. Is that wrong? Is it bad? No, it's none of those things. It just is what it is. And because you're able to move it out in a journal, whether you're writing or you're doodling or whatever you're doing to get it out, by the time you actually are coming to transmit that energy to someone else, you're ready to do it on a playing field that has kindness, and there's much greater receivership. So you don't have to have problems to journal. In fact, journaling on a daily basis is just a really great way to stay connected with who you are, with Source, with your ability to be grateful. If your journaling is nothing more than a grateful log, it's fantastic, because it will continue to add the vibration of gratitude in your everyday life. So journals can be used for a multitude of things, and I hope that you pick up a journal today. I highly recommend that you get one that just feels good, that seems special in some sort of way. It doesn't mean that it has to be expensive, but it means that you're making a concerted effort to get your thoughts down and get a pen that feels good when you write with it, and create a time where you and your journal can connect, and it gives you an opportunity for you and Source to connect, because journaling is really, in a sense, an active form of meditation in a way, like many, many other things really are active forms of meditation. Of course, we have the sitting still and the quiet meditation, and that's what most people think of when they think of meditation, but walking and mundane chores and all kinds of things are really meditative practices, when in fact you're moving in these ways and you allow your thoughts to be of grace and of gratitude and love and openness to learn, openness to take that learning and become wise by using that which you know. So I'm going to see how that turned out. And it looks like my battery is just about done. But anyway, this was a pretty good experiment. Okay, thanks.